Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a good song to start the show off with. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think of one. Unless you got one.
No.
Okay. No. Okay, fine.
I've been listening to oldies all
Oh,
month. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
it.
bet.
That's
Yeah,
it.
man. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is, all right? It's the Polytickin Podcast, all right? Welcome back to it, all right? And also give a nice warm welcome back to the Usos FM, all right? I'm hello Marcus, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? The Usos over
Yeah.
there, he's back in the capital of California right now, handling his business. Y'all know exactly what he's been up to, okay? Everybody's been sending love, everybody's been showing love to you, you know what I mean? During this time, man. And I know it's been tough, it's been difficult. So, we've been trying to hold it down while you was away,
Appreciate
and
it. Lance,
we
thank
didn't.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Lance. But also, we didn't do a good job because I lost my voice. I lost my voice a week after Lance and I recorded the first time I got back. It was freaking dumb, dude. It was dumb, bro. I
Uh,
was telling him like my voice was so hoarse, it sounded like I was squeaking.
mm.
I can't even recreate it. It was so bad.
How you lose your voice?
I don't know. I did cough a lot. I was don't
Okay.
I was sick. I was feeling sick, and
Oh, okay.
I was coughing a lot. It was definitely at night. I was coughing up a freaking lung at night before going to sleep. Like it was keeping me up. And then the next thing I knew, I wake up and my voice is gone.
Was it after the like the funeral or the wedding or something?
All of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was after the Usos funeral, and it was a
Oh,
week.
okay.
It was like a couple days after Lance and I recorded again after coming back. And I was mad. I felt bad the way you said it too, bro. I felt bad.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Being at having everything happen, and every time I
Hmm.
greeted families, whatever, in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, man, I hope nobody's sick right now. Cause
Yeah.
I'm shaking 100 people's hands, and I'm eating all these food. Like I was like,
Hmm.
yeah. So I could see that if you go to a funeral and then you get sick after. That's a lot of intermittent. You know what? I was thinking, I was like, damn, like 4 years ago, this never would have happened during COVID. Like,
Mm-mm.
bruh, yeah,
Nope. Nope.
I feel it. I feel it.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
all, you,
Pre
you
and
all
post
better?
COVID.
You
Yeah,
all
I'm
better?
I'm way better now. Yeah, I think I'm at like 99.9% now. You know what I'm saying? I
Hey,
tried to sing a
okay.
song last week, you know what I'm saying? I said at 97 and I was squeaking again, but it's okay.
Hmm.
People
Okay.
be squeaking.
I'm kind of happy though, because I don't like the way you be singing all good, like in front of
Come
my
on, dog.
face. Chill
Come on,
out. Not all of us is gifted like that. You know what I'm saying?
dog. Oh shit. It's cool, man. You call me Ja Rule and Darth Vader. It's okay. I was
You know what I'm
subconscious about
saying?
this for years. It's
Hey,
okay.
you are the father. Uh,
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Like I told Marcus off air, I felt bad, man. I was trying to check into the Patreon and this and that and all that, but I was just like, once I get back, we finna get back to it. And
Yeah.
since I'm not finna be back in Canada for a minute, I was like, you know what? Let me just buy this little setup real quick. Y'all didn't even, you didn't, because Marcus didn't know that I was finna come back today. I hit him last night and was like, bro, what's up? What time y'all on? Like, wait, what? And I was like, bro,
Hmm.
I ordered it yesterday. It got in last night. It's just little, you know what I'm saying? Nothing
Oh
special,
damn, you
but
got it that whoa, you got it that quick?
hey, oh yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna say something else. I thought you said, there you got that club. But anyways,
Don't do that.
yes, yeah.
Nice.
I got it. Yeah, cause Sacramento, we got an Amazon warehouse in here, so you
Oh
could
yeah.
you can get it same day. Um,
Oh
but yeah,
word.
and we back. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I've been busy. I feel like a lot of people who listen to the pod probably know what's going on. So before I commandeer this podcast and talk for 5 hours straight,
Hell yeah.
my let's get back to it. What episode is this? Do you know? Do I know?
I honestly maybe 121.
121. Okay.
121.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think yeah, I think Lance and I did 120. I don't know. I'm gonna look at it again.
Okay.
I think it's
Did you
121.
celebrate 420?
No, man. It was also the same day as Easter. Who do you think was higher, a stoner or Jesus?
And that's how he got his ticket to hell. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. I respect it. So you didn't smoke on Easter because you
I mean, of course.
go to church out of nowhere? Look.
I
You
No,
damn
so
lie.
I work on Sundays. I work on
Oh,
Sundays.
okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, of course I smoke, but I didn't smoke in honor of 420. I smoke every day.
You
Like
didn't take a
420,
break?
dude.
You didn't take a break
What?
for Jesus? You didn't feel like it
No,
was that
I didn't take.
important?
No, I didn't take a break for Jesus. No, I feel like Jesus put this in the ground for us, right?
Uh, you know what? Ever since I heard
Oh,
ever since I heard that cocaine also comes from plants, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe maybe that whole it's natural doesn't bode well. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
they used, yeah, they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola. Like that's
Yeah,
how it
back in
was.
your day, right? The
Yeah,
60s.
back in my day, back in like the 1800s.
I think I read the
Yo, I
article.
hate this guy. This guy comes back and he goes off on my age. All right, what you read an article about what?
I read the article, like one of the original articles that talked about that, and it said, Coca-Cola was made by all of these ingredients and a wee bit of cocaine. That's what it said
I know
in the article. And a wee bit of
bit of
cocaine.
cocaine.
How much is a
Yeah.
wee? How much is a wee? What do you
Oh, I feel like a wee
Yeah.
is definitely less than an ounce.
Yeah.
But maybe it's more than a little. No, it's less than a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit is bigger than a wee.
Okay. What's bigger, a pinch or a wee?
You know what? You know what, bro? I think a wee might be bigger than a pinch.
A wee
Actually,
is
no,
bigger
no,
than
no,
a pinch.
no,
No?
no. I'm tripping. No, I think a pinch because you can get a lot in a pinch. I think a
Uh-huh.
wee.
Yeah, with your
smaller
big
than a
old
pinch.
fingers.
I feel like a wee is maybe like a grain, but there is no. It can't be a freaking
You think
grain
a
of
wee
cocaine.
is a grain?
I mean, it just sounds smaller than a pinch.
So a wee is smaller than a pinch. Is we a bigger? Is we bigger than
Is a
like
wee a bigger?
bigger than a milligram? What is a
No.
milligram?
Yeah, how much is a milligram, bro? I feel like a milligram is a pinch.
Yeah,
And a wee
milligram.
is smaller than a pinch.
Okay, so okay, all right. So hey, let us know if y'all agree. What is bigger, a
If y'all
wee
a
or a
wee.
pinch?
Do you a
What's
wee
a-
with us?
What's a, what's the third? What's the third one? It's a pinch, a wee, and
A bit, a little bit.
a bit, little bit. Tad.
A tad bit.
No,
okay.
tad bit. What's
Yeah,
what's
tad bit.
smaller, tad bit or a little bit?
I'll say I'll say a wee bit is taller or is bigger than a tad bit. But a tad bit is smaller than
Hold on, you confuse me. Just
pinch.
rank it, littlest
Yeah.
to biggest. Wee, tad, little. Wee bit,
Wee,
tad bit,
tad.
little bit.
Okay,
Which
so it
one?
goes
Smallest.
smallest to biggest. Wee,
Yeah.
tad, and little. How you had it.
Wee, tad, little. Okay. And on another episode of things that absolutely don't matter.
Don't matter. What the hell are these two talking about?
Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It's been a minute. I gotta get back into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm rusty.
when
I'm
we
rusty right now.
Hey, my guy Steph got ring rust right now. Okay, we talking about a wee bit of shit. Okay, all right.
A tad, a wee, and a pinch. Wait, did we do pinch? No, pinch is separate.
No.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah, pinch is separate.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
got to be bigger.
That's what she said.
Before.
That's what she said.
Woo-hoo, that's what she said.
So yeah. Anyways, man.
Yeah.
Episode 121, whatever.
One of them.
We skipping all the introductions. This is a public episode, but we skipping all that. Check us out. Check us out where you want to check us out, man. We got a lot to get to today.
Yeah.
And since I'm finna commandeer this podcast later on, let's start with you, my brother. How have you been?
I've been good, man. Same old stuff. You're not missing much. All right, you've been gone for a month, but as far as my life, you're not missing much. Okay, work, home, eat, shit, sleep, nothing else. You know what I'm saying? But the other day, I picked up a new game. But it's kind of old. I played it before, didn't get to finish it. It's called Yakuza 0. It's really good, also really weird. I don't know if you like it. What?
Marcus be tapping in with his roots, brother. He is
on
here. He was out here just rallying the troops for Shogun, and now he's Yakuza 0. Like, bro, He's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I was
man.
watching Rurouni Kenshin reruns the other day. You
Yo, how
know.
did they make a show of my life and my ancestors? It's so crazy. Nah, man. Yakuza Zero's an awesome game. Other than that, I haven't really been doing much, man. Right
Mm.
now, I'm in the middle of trying to figure out Tachibana Real Estate's motives on why they want to acquire the empty lot because they're trying to set up my father, Kazuma-san, who's currently serving a year in prison for getting caught gambling in a gambling den that the Yakuza ran. So I'm over here trying to clear his name because he has to take all the accountability that I gave him after committing a murder that I didn't commit. The Yakuza are trying to frame me right now, so I have to clear my name. I had to leave the Yakuza to figure out what's going on and save my dad. That's what's going on in my life right now.
Hey, I got a question.
What's up?
I see how immersed you get in these games. I see how
Yeah.
much like you really be in it. Like Red Dead, I feel like you play that with a cowboy hat on and spurs on your
Oh,
boots.
brother,
I want
brother,
to
it got to the
know.
point where I was naming my horses, and they got really good horse names. All right, so what?
Wait, what's some horse
What?
names?
One
Sione.
of them.
Uh,
Racist. He's racist.
Sione.
Nah, man.
Havili.
Nah, man. I think I named one of them Caesar. It's a boy horse, a male
Okay.
horse. Named him
Okay.
Caesar. I
Okay.
think that's a
Caesar.
solid horse name.
I thought
It's a
that was a
solid.
monkey name, but okay.
You talking
Cause
about like Julius Caesar,
okay, I'm talking about Caesar from Planet of the
Planet of the
Apes.
Apes?
Yeah, yeah. But
I
okay,
named my
I
horse
guess.
after a monkey.
What's another name? Let me judge it. I'll give Caesar a 7. I'll give Caesar a 7 for horse names.
Okay.
What else you got?
All right. So I have. Okay. So I have a red chestnut Arabian. It's a female. I named her. I na- I told you,
I have a
dog. It
I have
got
a mahogany
serious,
brown, a mahogany brown
I have a
stallion.
Palomino Dapple. Yeah, I have a Palomino Dapple, Kentucky Silver. Like,
What? What is
yeah,
red chestnut Arabian? What'd you say?
red chestnut Arabian.
Oh, that's what you said. Okay,
That is what I said. Holy shit,
okay.
my guy
It w-
listens. You listen? You listen when I speak?
what is it? What is it? What's the name? The red chestnut
uh,
Arabian.
so she's a female. I called her. I called her Michelle.
That's my Angie's name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was a good horse name. I thought it was a good horse name. I thought it was good.
Oh my god, hey, Auntie Horse, how are you doing?
Oh, don't put that on me. I'm
So
sorry.
Michelle and Caesar. Okay.
Yeah.
You have any other horses? I'll give Michelle, I gotta give it a 6. I don't know.
So I was gonna get another horse, and I was gonna name her Boadicea. Boadicea too.
See, that I give that a 10. Cause what the hell does that
Right?
mean? Cause
Yeah.
that's
I
the
think
only that's the only being in the world with that kind of name. What is Bodicea? What is
So
that?
Boadicea was I think a Viking figure who fought in like an early Roman war or like a Roman battle a long time ago. Either a Viking or a Roman, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
female. Boadicea was a female,
Okay. Okay. That's
right?
incredible. That's incredible.
Thanks, man.
Yo, I be forgetting Marcus is smart. I'll be forgetting he be reading and stuff. I'll be forgetting his knowledge is grandiose.
Yeah, I've read a book and shit.
Yeah.
I've read a book. I hate when
Okay,
people do that shit.
Bodicea. Michelle.
Boadicea.
Why that horse get a grandiose name and then you got Michelle and
I got
well Caesar. Okay, hold on. Caesar and Bodicea, they in that same realm of like
exactly.
extraordinary, and then you just got Michelle just on the side. She sound like the child. She the child that does all the fouls. Like she don't.
Yeah.
She don't get to. She eat last. She got to sit at the kids' table. Like
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
There was Zeus, Hera, and Thomas.
Yeah. Like what? Okay. Okay. So those are your 3 horses. All right. I like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna save Boadicea though. Boadicea comes later when like a nicer horse comes around.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel it. I respect it. I give Bodicea a 10. Michelle's a 6, Caesar's a 7, Boadicia's a 10. Boadicea. I was trying to come up with a sentence to use that as a 5-way in a sentence, but it ain't even nothing to sound remotely like Boadicea. So we just going, yeah. So shout out to Yakuza Zero. Is that what you
See you
said?
later, huh? I've been playing Yakuza Zero.
Yakuza Zero. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
playing Yakuza Zero. So
Hey.
clear my name right now. What?
So my sister's boyfriend Narvik, he showed me because I've been playing his game, and he showed me MLB The Show.
Okay.
And I might like baseball now.
Yeah, my brothers were saying the same thing.
Yeah,
they was like, I'm gonna get the show when it comes out. I'm gonna get it.
Bro, I'm playing the old version. This is fun. So I think I care about baseball. Go Giants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh.
You a Dodgers fan? Is that what you...
Yeah, I'll be a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, okay. Don't LA got like hella teams?
Baseball teams?
Yeah.
Not that
No?
I know. I mean, there's Anaheim. That's not LA. Anaheim Angels.
Oh. Why
Yeah,
was
so
the
it's
New
just-
York Dodgers too, or no?
So the Dodgers used to be here in LA back in like the 40s. They're like Jackie Robinson's time.
Wait, the Dodgers or the Yankees?
Oh, sorry. The Yankee. No. Oh,
No,
fuck,
the
I don't
Dodgers
know.
used to be in New York, and then they switched.
I think so. Fuck, I don't know. Now I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I played the show and I like it and it's fun and yeah, I think I care about baseball now. So yeah,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
Would you ever?
I wanted to get into it. What?
No, you want to get into a what?
I was trying to get into it, but I was just lost on all the stats and stuff, like what they mean, like the letters and the initials. I was so confused.
No, I still don't know how to read the box score.
Yeah.
So I have to go to like you when you're playing a game, you go to the calendar and it says L or W for the win. At the end of each match, I don't know if I won or lost. Like I have to wait until we get to the calendar to show a W or a L. So
Okay.
I'm learning.
Yeah, so I know that E stands for error because you can make errors on the play that gets people on the base. I think the R, is there an R there too? R is runs.
Yeah, ours runs.
Yeah, so just look for the R. If you have more R's than the other team, then yeah, you're good.
HR is home run. RBI is something too.
Run, I think like run base inning. The amount of bases you ran in an inning.
Okay, that sounds. I don't know.
Yo, you're talking shit that you don't know. You don't know.
Radical, bad
radical
intentions.
Yeah. That sounds like a wrestling fucking faction.
Oh man, hey, real quick.
Intentions.
We gonna get to my catch up, but real quick, did you see John Cena?
He won the title.
Did you see it last night though?
Mm-mm.
You want me to spoil it or no?
Yeah. Spoil it,
Brother. He was talking or doing something, and out of nowhere, behind him, none other than the Legend Killer.
I hear voices in my head.
He got RKO'd out of nowhere. It was crazy.
Okay.
So
I didn't know what you was talking about, but yeah, I seen that clip today.
Yeah.
So
hey, if
John Cena is a heel.
What? All we need now is Carlito to come spit an apple at him and have the chain with the lock on it, and I'm right back to my childhood. Let's do it. Let's do it,
bro. He needs to come out to Doctor of Thugonomics, bro. He needs to do that. Word life. Yeah. This is basic Thugonomics. He needs to come out to that.
Shout out to John Cena, one of my favorite rappers, white rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh, talking of Carlito, that fool got his soul speared a couple weeks ago, like speared out of his body. Did you see that?
No, he still wrestles.
Yeah, he's still wrestling.
Like on the main circuit or like at someone's backyard?
Probably so. No, he's in WWE now. Carlito's back.
Oh,
yeah. So he got speared by Braun Breaker real bad. Braun Breaker He speared him so hard he did like a front flip or something. Braun Breaker did.
Okay. Okay. Selling it like The Rock with the stunners. I like it. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it. Okay.
But
Shout out to
I don't
wrestling.
think Carlito does the apple. What?
He don't do the apple no more?
Nah, he's like dark Lito.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
he's in like
spit in the face of people who are not cool.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Shout out to wrestling. I've been over here stalling, but I guess we're here,
Yeah. Other
you
than that,
know?
I ain't got shit else. I ain't been up to much, man. So
Yeah.
catch us up, bro. What's been going on with you?
Woo. Dog. I hope you guys are ready to cry. You guys ready?
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, we've been dealing with a lot on this end, but you know, it was crazy when remember because when I left, right? I was saying like, oh yeah, I'm finna be gone for a week, then we'll be back and we'll be good. And then, life had other plans. So
Yeah.
came out here, thankfully got to perform one last time for Pops. My cousin, his wife passed a year ago. So he had a 1 year. I got in on a Friday and the 1 year was on a Saturday. So that
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night, I performed. First of all, the service was beautiful, and then I ended up performing at the end. And Pops was there. The whole my pop. I ain't gonna lie, my Pops was hella tired. It was. I told him, let me perform first, and it was like, oh, we was gonna have you perform later. I was like, nah, it's cool. I want to perform first because my dad want to go home. He tired, so they let me perform first, which was cool. It was like all family, which was nice. Hey, I'm like officially over stage fright. Like the beginning
Nice.
of it, like waiting to go, like my knees be shaking. But then when I'm up there
Mm-hmm.
and I just start looking around and I'm like, oh, this is easy. Like this is cool. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Performed, and I'm glad I obliged because I had this set list, and it was pretty short because I was like, this is a Tongan function. And like I'm in my hometown, but at the same time it's a Tongan function, so I'm like, I'm not gonna be up here for too long because it's. But it went well, and then I performed my block. My dad was telling me, my cousins was telling me, Alex was telling me, and then so I was like, fine, I'm gonna do it, but I don't know the words. Like I just made the song like a couple weeks before I left,
Yeah.
so I performed it. I kind of just sat up there while the song played, and I just filled in. I was more of a hype man for that song, but I'm glad I obliged. Everything went smooth that day, and then a couple of days later, the situation happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, it's been go time, bro. Um,
That
I feel
sounds
like
familiar.
everybody that's every Polynesian understands how it goes. Um, yeah, every Polynesian knows how it goes. As soon as everything, I've been telling this story like I've been um for all the like, we didn't do Fox more, but we still opened our home for visits and for people to come.
Mm-hmm.
So getting everything situated, my mom had told me beforehand. She was like, she told me and my sister, she was like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to talk. I'll sit there and I'll greet people and but I don't want to talk because it's too much. So I was like, bet you good thing you have a son who could talk hella. I talk for a living. So I ended up, receiving the families and I talked for most of, everybody that came. And
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, bro, like thankfully we do this podcast. Thankfully, like, in my relationship, me and my girl, we talk a lot. And it was more suited to respond to what everybody was bringing and respond to what everybody was saying, which was, really up my alley. So even before that though, my phone hella skipping.
No
Bro, we
problem.
had we had so many people hit us up to help, like all the family. Yeah, and like how people be like, "Hey, bro, if you need anything," and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things like, "Do you want some?" Because you offering, but you really don't want them to say yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people were offering, it's
Oh
kind of like,
man. Oh
yeah,
man. Oh, it sucks to look at it in such a negative light like that. That sounds so
well,
negative.
it's just I feel like when you talk to people who are grieving or when they're going through things, you kind of that's like oh, I'm sorry for your loss. It's like one of those things that you throw out there. But rarely
Right.
does anyone, because how more people, we so prideful, bro. We don't like asking for help. And
Yeah.
so as it was being said, in the back of my mind, I mean, I know the family and the friends, they love us, but I also know people have lives. People are
Mm-hmm.
busy and stuff. But like literally everyone who offered and said, "Hey, if you need anything," they pulled up.
Yeah.
Like I've been telling people all the time, like my family is hella small. We not like the type of family that got hella kids. We got hella cousins. My dad had five siblings, but even then, like on my dad's side, it's only it's only little cousins that we have. Like
Mm-hmm.
my dad's siblings don't have hella kids, and on my mom's side it's more, but this is my dad's side I'm talking about. So yeah, it's just us. It's very small. So for everybody to pitch in and help out, it was such a godsend, bro. Like my cousins and them, they came and set up the tents. Like they brought the heaters. No, they'd set up one big tent, like a big old 20 by 20 in the backyard, set up the walls. We had people come in and set up the decorations. We had flowers. We had
Mm-hmm.
all of this in the backyard just to just to host people. And like looking at it after everything was set up, we had the tents, we had the lights, we had the heaters with the propane tanks. And I was like, none of this is ours. Like literally none of the coolers, none of it was ours. It was all family. So like for everybody to pitch in that way, after they had said whatever you need and they really meant it, it meant so much to us, bro.
Yeah.
It was yeah. Cause our family's hella small. It's just me, my sister, and my parents. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that was just me, my sister, and my mom. So for everybody to come together, it made everything so much easier for us. It it relieved us of so much stress and so many obligations. Like
Mm-hmm.
we could focus on other things. So it was really cool. Um, and then having everybody come in, like all the stories and all of the memories and all of the things that preceded me, before
Yeah.
I was born or when I was born, too young to remember. Like hearing everything, it was bittersweet, but it was more sweet than bitter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also thought of you, bro,
Oh.
because no, literally in the midst of all this, I was thinking of people like I was thinking of all my cousins who have lost a parent. Last time when I lost my grandma, I was thinking of all my family and friends who had lost a grandparent and like how that works and how, I was just like, a part of me knew that I would be okay eventually because I have these examples of people who have survived losing a grandparent. And in this situation, I started thinking about everybody who I knew who had lost a parent that could serve as an example of like, you can get through it. You just got to stick with it.
Yeah.
And so while I was thinking of I'll just think like, dang, if if my my auntie Li's kids could do this, then I could do this, or if my uncle Paking Makula's kids could do this, then I could do this. And then I was like, I think you texted. I think it was when you texted about dough, you know.
Oh yeah.
And then
Okay.
I read the message. I was busy that day, but I read the message, and then I was like, bruh, Marcus did this twice. I was like, there's a way to like, because there's moments where you just feel hopelessness, where you're just like, all right, this is it. Like we gonna finish this funeral, and then I'm just done because what the hell is life, you know?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
when I seen your name and I seen that pop up and I thought of it, I was like, bruh, this fool Marcus did this twice. He picked himself up, doing well for himself. He's living life, and he's getting. I don't want to say getting better because I'm not trying to judge wherever you at, but like, he working out. He not drinking as much. I think, and like he just living. He's just living. And so
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that, and I was just like, that's another great example of like, you can't get through this. You know what I'm saying? If he could do it
Yeah.
twice, I could do it once for now. That's all I was.
Yeah.
That's kind
Yeah.
of
You'll be fine.
yeah, but
Damn, bro. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. Jesus, you about to make
no,
me cry, motherfucker.
bro, go ahead, because I've been crying this whole time. It's about damn time you shed some tears.
Yeah. Right.
It was
Appreciate that,
that
man.
it literally though, it's just like I had to look at examples because I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see anything in front of me. Like there was like, so certain moments in this whole process, I'm looking and I'm just like, it's just a wall. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, dang, what the hell? Like, what am I supposed to do now? You know? And
This is what you're
so,
supposed to do. You're supposed to live and
no, for
keep
real.
doing this.
Yeah, no, yeah,
That's
and
what you're supposed to do.
it was back and forth, and it was just, it,
Mhm.
it's different. But yeah, like I told this story at the funeral, and I'll tell it here. The night that it happened, after
Mhm.
everything was finalized, and we got the word, and we stood around the hospital bed. Uh, the only thing, like, we had family around, and we was crying, and was whatever. First thing I said when I addressed everybody in the room was, "God is good." That's all I could hear my dad saying. "God is good. God is good. What you crying for? God is good." So, like, that was the first thing I said. I addressed the family. I thanked them. I told them, I was saying, like, as sad as this is, I'm so grateful. So grateful that I got to have him as my dad. So grateful I had to have him. The world got to have him for 59 years. That I got to have him for 33. Like, just gratefulness, and from then on, it was go time because we understood. Like, and you know what's crazy, bro?
Oh.
We was struggling, dog, because we was like, hey, we gotta make. My mom was like, we gotta make calls. You gotta let people know. You gotta let the real people know, like my pop's close ones. So I'm like, she's like, who's you have to call this person, this person, this person. I'm sitting there like, I don't have nobody's numbers, because my
Oh.
dad was the mouthpiece for our family. So I'm sitting there like, I don't know anything. And she's like,
Mhm.
I don't have any numbers. So it was the first moment, like the night that it happened was the first moment of like life without pops. Because we would go through him. He was the conduit for everything. We would go through him for everything. To talk to people, to get things set up, to have, whatever, like a meeting or just a gathering. It would always go through him. And so now the fact that we didn't have that, that was the first realization, like, damn, this is gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? And
Man, crazy.
yeah.
Oh.
Do you I mean, if you want to talk about it, you know,
Mhm.
do you
Go
have
ahead.
parallels to that situation to where the first time you're just like, oh dang, it's different now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, see, I didn't real. Oh man, it usually comes after, because it
Uh-huh.
doesn't hit me until everything. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think that's not much of a parallel because you realized it instantly that it was different. For me, it took a while. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It wasn't until everybody was out of the house and all the canopies was down, the house was
Yeah.
cleaned up and it was quiet. That's when it was like,
Yeah.
fuck. Because it happened to me I was so young. You know what I'm saying? And even with my dad, I was still an adult, but also just not good financially to help take care of things. So, I
Yeah.
luckily I have, you know, older family who was taking care of all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? To
Hmm.
where I can just where I didn't really need to focus on that, just being like, just being a physical presence to be there and, move pisupos around and do fasa more stuff, which I was certainly bad at. But
Yeah.
for me, everything was after. Nothing
Hmm.
hit me until after everything was done. And the house was quiet. So
Hmm. Was your
yeah,
dad's funeral or your mom's funeral, was any of them Fasamo?
my dad's was, my dad's was,
Oh. Oh, that was the one in
yeah, my
Hawaii that
dad's.
I pulled up
Hmm.
to, right?
Yeah, man. I was thinking, man,
Yeah.
dude, when you told us that, when you sent the text to and said that to us, that was the first thing I thought of. Not to just make it
Hmm.
about myself, but like, dude, this
No.
guy, this dude Seth went to my dad's funeral. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, I don't know, it hit me, it hurt me different. But
Yeah.
yeah, well, my dad, it was super someone because he just got out of
Yeah.
freaking Kanana
Yep.
Fall.
Yep.
So of course
Yep.
it was. My mom's was also just not on the same scale.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. I remember pulling up to that church, and I was
Mhm,
standing outside because it was packed in there. It was packed in
yeah.
there. So there was no seats. So I couldn't get in the church. But I remember standing by the door, by the window, either one or the other. And then I met your cousins, the smart ones. The ones that do
Yeah.
IT and all that. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And they was looking at me like, you need it? Because everybody was dressed up like church, and I had a black shirt, some cargo shorts, and a backpack.
Yeah,
I
you
had
just
I
came from
think
work, didn't you? You just wait for
Ah,
work.
either work, something like that, or I just remember I took an Uber because I didn't know where I was
Mm,
going.
mm,
But no, yeah, I remember me and LJ pulled up. We went to the Jack of the Crack out there.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so I was thinking about all that, like just different. I was just trying to think of different instances where people that I know who's around my age lost a parent and how they're doing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it was instant. Find like live life without pops, you know. It was instant
Yeah.
because we was just like, damn. I didn't. I mean, I knew we leaned on him, but I didn't realize even the little stuff, like just the
Mm,
phone calls, like just reaching out to people. My mom would always
hmm.
be like, "Hey, Jimmy, can you talk to so and so?" Or can you? He's like, "Oh, yep, I got you." Bro, us not having his phone was like we had no. It was like we had dial up and we was trying to send an
Yeah.
email. It was
Yeah.
terrible. Um, then we got everything set up. You know, the family came through. Man, shout out to the family. They gave us our time. They gave us our time because you know, my mom, she didn't want to put anything out there until we had everything paid for and the hall for the service. Because one thing
Hmm.
my dad said, because you know, just earlier, like 2 weeks prior, was my uncle's funeral. You know, and I
Mm.
had came out to sack for
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and so when we were in the hall, my dad, one of the things he told my mom was like, "Man, if anything ever happens to me, this is not big enough." And boy, was he right. So, one of the first things we wanted to do is secure a hall. And I mean, not thankfully, but you know, the, that show that I told you, my cousin's wife's 1 year was in this hall down the street, and we had never like we was looking for churches. Like we were going to
Yeah.
churches because that's just what you do. You know, you do a church service at a church, and then you go whatever. But my mom was like, you should try over there." So I called over there. It was open on that Friday, like the day that we needed it to be open. It was like
Mm.
everything worked out how it should. So
Mm.
we got the hall, we got everything, and then the family was like, "Yo, you know, we're not trying to bother you, but we're on deck. We're ready." You know, shout out to my uncle Spence, shout out to everybody on my dad's side. You know, it was like we ready. My uncle Kingy and his family, they was here hella much. Shout out to my auntie Lisa. You know, her son Peter, they was here every day since it happened. Every day since it happened, they pulled up. Whether it be to help to do for hours, or be to help to go set up, or go look at the churches, or go look at the halls, or just to
Yeah.
be here. You know, they was here every single day. So and
Hmm.
she's my auntie. She's the one who just lost her husband a couple weeks prior. She lost him at the end of February.
Oh.
So
Mm.
she knew exactly what my mom was going through. Um, One thing I taught, like while we were in the midst of doing all this stuff, right? Her kids, who my little cousins, you know, they're younger than us. They're probably 10 years younger than us or something, 10 years or more. And I told her, I was like, because they knew, like, oh yeah, we gotta call the funeral home. Oh yeah, you gotta do this and that. And on one hand, it was hella. I was grateful that they were so helpful. On the other hand, it killed me knowing that they knew how to handle losing a father.
I mean,
You know,
yeah.
like how young they are. Cause I look at them as babies. I changed their diapers, we raised them, we babysat them, like all of that. And, you know, to have them be so strong, Simon Peter and my auntie Lise, to come through, it was a godsend, but at the same, it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet. It was so, you know, we couldn't have done it without their
Ah,
help. But at the same time, I was just like,
don't you
I,
hate making that realization, bro?
yeah,
That
you
like the
know,
people around you that they're helping, their help is so well is because they've gone through it too.
yeah,
You know what
you
I'm
know,
saying? And it just breaks your heart. But it's also like these are the people that you lean on. These are
yeah,
the people that are gonna be there for you because one, they understand what the hell you're going through, and two, they know how to help. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? They
yeah.
just know how to do this because of experience. So yeah, it's definitely bittersweet. I hear exactly what you're saying, bro.
Yeah,
Oh
it
God,
killed
grief. What?
it killed me to know how well they can maneuver the phone
Hmm.
calls, you know, the text, the this and that, like just we go to the funeral home and they know which room we gotta wait in, and you know the oh
Mm.
yeah, can we get the coffee and can we get this, you know, like just like not even the big stuff, but
Yeah.
the intricacies, like the little, you know, things that you don't really remember. Like, oh yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom's over there. You know, we in the funeral home, and she's like, oh yeah, the bathroom's over there, and the water fountain's on this side. You gotta go around. You gotta get the cups, and then like that type of stuff. Or like when we were
Mm-hmm.
doing the dressing, like how they were like, oh, you gotta be careful with the wheels. You gotta lock the wheels in this way, and you gotta lift them that way. Like just it was so bittersweet to have their help. It was so nice to have their help because without them navigating through this would have been terrible. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I hate that they knew how to do this so well. And like, cause what I'm feeling, they're feeling. And I was just like, and on top of that, right? Cause man, I love my Uncle Spank, man, Big Spank, rest in peace. But our relationship, you know, wasn't as close as my dad and my little cousins. My dad was hella close to my little cousins. So when I lost Spank, when we lost Spank, and then back to my dad, back to back with my pops, it's different. Spank was the homie, but he lived his life. But my pops, he was always home, and the kids was always around. So for them to lose their father, and then somewhat of a father figure in my pops, I felt so bad for them, man. It was just like, you know, it just is a whole different kind of feeling. So,
Yeah.
but thankfully we had their help. Shout out to my auntie Lisa, the kids, literally here every day since it happened, all the way up until the burial. Um, we received everybody. Um, we had to sit at. Did you sit at the table for your pops thing? Like when everybody came, was you there?
Uh, not at the table. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, because I don't know how the Fat Samoa stuff worked. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was, yeah, like I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I mean, I sat with family for sure. His side of the family took up a lot of space though, as far as the table. So you know,
Mhm.
I was on the family side. It was just not, not too close to the head. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? I was just there in the
Mhm.
background. I
Oh,
don't know if that
it
explains
was like
anything. Yeah.
his wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, their stuff. So
Mhm.
all of that. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other thing.
I remember.
Yeah. So, yep. So what happened?
So we my mom had to talk, but she didn't want to talk, and
Mm,
so we sat. It was me, my sister, my mom, and my auntie Lisa. And then we had everything set up from the family. The family helped set everything up from the tables, the chairs, the lights, the tents, the heaters, everything. And we had everybody coming in. Even before that, though, man, shout out to Narvik, my sister's boyfriend, my brother, for doing all of the cooking. He cooked. So we did it
mm,
super simple. We had chicken. We barbecued the chicken, but we catered the chow mein, the rice. Well, we made the rice, but we catered the chow mein and beef broccoli and just made simple plates.
nice.
So that was a little, that was like the mornings. We'll start the grill in the mornings, and then we'd
Mm-hmm.
cater. We'd bring people to the house, and eat in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoons and the evenings. And bro, look, for my grandma's funeral, right? I didn't talk well in public, but amongst the family, I had a lot to say. And
Ooh.
it was the first time I stepped in, and not in a bad way, but I'm just
Oh,
saying, like,
okay.
I was very vocal within my family, like within just us. And it was the first time I like stepped up and actually like said something meaningful at a family meeting type stuff.
Mm,
And t- at the service, I was nervous. Like I was dealing with emotions. So I didn't do well presenting myself. This time around, after my mom said she didn't want to talk, and so when every family came, it was me talking. It was me like receiving them and responding. And I don't know.
damn.
I guess my dad's
Damn.
spirit was in me because every time they came, I feel like I did a really good job just talking to
Mm,
people, thanking them, responding to what they were talking about, and also bringing up my own memories. Cause like, so shout out to the Uso Lominga and his family. He was talking. He was like, to be honest, man, growing up, I was closer to your dad's older brother. So my uncle Junebug, who passed away in '92. I was closer to Junebug because your pops, man, I didn't really like him. He was mean, so I wasn't really messing with him. He was always bag on me, so I'd go with Junebug. And then whatever. And then when I responded, I said, "Man, I'm glad you said that because I didn't like your dad neither. Like nothing character wise, but his dad, Sarge. We used to call him Sergeant Slaughter because he looked like Sergeant Slaughter. His dad and Uncle Vai, they was the enforcers at Nazarene and Nasaleka. So like when we was out and about, when we sneak out of church, you know how you go use the bathroom, then you run outside to the parking lot, you playing.
Come on.
Well, when we was doing all that, they would come with their belts and they would whoop us or whatever, scold us or whatever. And so
Hmm.
Sarge, he was one of them. And I was like, I'm not saying I don't like him as a person. I'm just talking about when I was a
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
being hella rowdy and not following the directions. He was the enforcer, and that was funny because like that, I was like, but even then, that shows the history of our families, like how far we go back, and we had just had so many families come in, so many different memories. You know, we had my dad's cousins family cousins come in, all my uncles and aunties and all the kids, and for them to all come in under one accord, that's something that, man, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people feel have similar situations, but my dad's side, very my auntie said, I don't want to call this dysfunctional, I want to call this challenged. It's very challenging to get everybody under the same accord, and it hasn't happened since my great grandma's funeral in 2003.
Mm,
So ever since then, people have been bringing their own CEs or male lofas on their own or separate or just little families. But for this one, everybody came together for the first time in, 23 years, 22 years. And it
mm,
was such a testament to my pops because he was always trying to bring people together, you know?
mm.
So it was so like monumental to me, my perspective. Because I was like, dang, it was one of those situations where I was like, damn, I wish I was on the other side of this table. Like,
Yeah.
like and just having everybody there, it was so, like I told him, like, my heart is full to see everybody under one tent. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it was so bittersweet because I was like, it's bittersweet. It's doubly bittersweet. On one hand, it's nice to see everybody, but it's the normal bittersweet where it's like I hate for it to be under this circumstance. But there was
Of
also
course.
another flip side to the bitter part because I was like, man, my dad loves this type of stuff, and for him to not be here in the flesh is very unfortunate because this is the type of stuff he lived for. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it was good to see them. Um, it was good to see everybody, but them specifically, for me, it was just so dope. You know what I'm saying?
Is it was it one of those situations where like a certain branch of the family was kind of disconnected, but then because of the loss of your pops, they kind of like got brought in together?
Brother, it's
Because
every
that's
branch.
yeah, brother, dog,
every every branch did their own thing, and
bro.
and and not to, there's no right or wrong, and there's no this or that.
Hmm.
There's a lot of history that I'm not familiar with, but
Hmm.
just from somebody who's my age, who's young, ever since great grandma's funeral, people have done their own thing, and that's just how
Yeah.
that's just for them. It's just been the best that works, and that's fine. But they
Hmm.
came together for this, and it was, boy, yeah,
It's the same thing here, but like I've noticed that there's definitely a select number of families that come to certain Five Love Lovers and stuff that always show up. But then
yeah,
there's just one branch or maybe a couple of branches that don't show up because they're again doing their own thing. But
yeah,
man, when the old man passed, there were a couple of branches that hadn't been around in a long time that came and showed us a lot of love. Brought a
yeah,
big male lofa. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's again, it's just a testament to the deceased that they're able to bring these people
Hmm.
back together. You know what I'm saying? Under one roof,
Yeah,
just to help, bro. You know, so
yeah.
it's always beautiful to see, man. But man, I do not envy your position, dog. That's
Oh,
so much pressure, bro. Like
yeah.
I cannot imagine speaking in front of the entire family and representing my family like that. You know, I guess
Hmm.
there's a silver lining to losing your parents when you're
Hmm.
that young and stupid because they're
Yeah.
like, yo, no, we're not giving this dude the mic. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Don't give it to him. So
Yeah.
luckily, I have a good set number of speakers for the family to represent.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
bro, all more power to you. All right, you got that. You got that,
Nah,
brother.
I'm gonna say, doing this podcast and like literally sharpening my skills as a speaker or somebody who has to articulate their thoughts twice a week, every week. It definitely, because like even when you're
Mhm.
talking in the podcast, I'm taking a piece that you said while you're talking, and I'm like, how can I respond to that, or what's a
Mhm.
good counter to this, or whatever. And so it was. Man, I was nervous at first, but after the first couple, I was like, oh, this is very doable. Like I just gotta speak from the heart. I know my dad's spirit was with me because that fool was a talker. That fool, he could talk all day and night. She let him, and it was like so many times in my head. I'm like, what would my pop say? We had our family, the Tupus came by. That was the only one. I talked to my auntie June from Hawaii. Well, she lives in Hawaii now, but she's from here. But I talked to her. I said, Auntie, the Tupus are coming, and if the old man is here, he's a pastor. He speaks Samoan. I said, I don't feel comfortable. I don't think it's respectful for me to answer in English, especially if he's going to speak in Samoan and I don't know what he's saying.
Mhm.
I don't want to do that. So can you please? So I talked to her. She was like, "Are you sure you're doing a good job?" I was like, "Auntie, I know I could handle it if it's in English, but if it's Samoan, man, and if it's the old man too, because like he's one of those figures. He's always been, him, my Nana Salilo, like they've always been like parental figures to all of us. And so I was
Mhm.
just like, it's not right. Like I don't feel it's not respectful for me to talk to him on the same level. I'm not on the same level, and I understood that. I understand that now. I'm like, we need to, you need to speak. Can you please speak? And she was like, okay, so, but then when they came, he didn't come. He wasn't feeling the greatest. So they had the son-in-law talk. And then my auntie June spoke, she received him and spoke back in Samoan, but then she opened the floor to me. And we call her Nana. She like served as a grandmother figure to my cousin Maya. So like she was everybody's Nana, but she was his for real. Um, I just told her son passed away 2000. That was my dad's like little homie. Like he was from the same set. My dad put him on, and I told her like I was like our family goes back, and my dad was real close with Rocky. That was his little Uso. Like he took him everywhere, and she started crying. But I wanted to let her know how much my pops loved her kids, especially Rocky. Rest in peace. And so I was able to talk that way, but that was the only one that I was like nervous about
Right.
because Pastor Tupu is he's been there in my life. So yeah, that was the only one where I kind of tapped out, and I was just like,
Yo.
ah, yeah,
Oh man, power dynamics even at a funeral is so messy to try to like get around. Luckily it worked out where like, you have somebody that you can lean to be like, "Hey, can you
yeah,
speak someone like
yeah,
this? Can you please do this?" You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Cuz fuck.
yeah. No, for real.
Shit. That's a lot. Well, I wouldn't know how to respond to that either. If I didn't have
Hmm.
anyone to lean on, I'd be like, that's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah,
Like, welcome, thank you, and welcome. I'm gonna say the rest of this in English. I'm Marcus. It'll just be terrible. So,
yeah.
brother,
It
good
was,
stuff.
yeah. No, it was therapeutic. I'll be real.
Yeah.
Like I didn't cry. Like I was good. As long as I was getting a little choked up talking about my pops, but responding to people, I didn't cry. Um, one thing that I learned from this whole scenario, from this whole situation, is the importance of service. I talked about this, bro. So when we did our testimonies, me and my sister, we were supposed to go first, but of course, we have uncles who don't listen to the program,
Mm-hmm.
so that we had two of them just pop up and just take the mic. But me and my sister went, we did our testimonies, and I didn't, bro. I went up there and I just started talking. Like I didn't even look at my phone. I had a whole thing written. I didn't look at my phone. Tell me why because we recorded it. Tell me why I was up there for 20 minutes.
Golly, bro, sweep the floor, man. God damn, your sister still needs to go.
No, she went first. She went first, so she
Oh,
was
she
cool.
went
But
first. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh,
bro,
okay, then
I
that's
was
fine.
I was talking for 20 minutes. You know what's funny? I was trying to record it, right? I was trying to screen record it, and I wanted to post it and whatever. And I'm screen recording it, and like 7 minutes go by, and I'm like, am I gonna stop talking anytime soon? Like what the no, 20 minutes, bro. I was like, damn.
See, this is the downside of podcasting, bro. You've gotten too comfortable in front of a microphone. You've gotten way too comfortable. Now he's just fucking yapping up there.
Yeah, hour 15. That's short. That's short. That's short.
Yeah, that's short. We do hour and a half sometimes on our podcast. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Good shit.
It
Okay.
was, man, bro. It was, yeah. Um. There was a lot. There was a lot to. Oh yeah. One of the things that I spoke on about, like, or one of the things that I noticed and I seen and I'm taking away with me from this whole situation is the importance of service.
Yeah.
It was tripping me out, bro. Like I spoke on it during the my testimony. Um, I had people like my Uncle Kingy, bro. Like to me, that fool's like mythological. Like when you talk about big homies, in my opinion, he's up there. You know, up there with my pops, up there with like a lot of people. And growing up, he's always been this monumental figure, just like not even real, just
Mhm.
like, you know, like just different, larger than life.
Mhm.
Bro, this fool is coming to me like, Seth, where do you want me to take the trash? Where's the trash at,
Oh
Seth?
my!
How can I
How
how can I
crazy,
clean this up? Seth, you guys need the
bro.
propane? I'll go get the propane. Like, hey, we'll go over here and and my auntie, his wife, Glo was like washing the dishes and like cleaning up after us. And like,
Mhm.
my auntie Anna, who I'm scared to death of, it was like asking me where does this go or where should I put it or what looks best and what do I think and like and I'm sitting there like these people are first of all I'm scared of them but also like they're just I'm the one that should be serving them but they really showed me the importance of service and also like knowing that I could ask them for stuff and knowing that I could go to them and know that they were reliable. Like it
Mhm.
took off so much stress, bro. Like if I needed anything, I could call Kingy, or if I needed anything, I could call my auntie Anna, and just
Right.
it was done. It was good as done as soon as I asked.
Mhm.
Like internally, I'm like computing this, like bro, like this is taking so much off of my shoulders. And it just meant so much that they would do that. They would bow their heads and like literally, stoop down and say, "What do you need?" Um,
Yeah.
it just shows me the importance and like I can't wait to pay it back to everybody else that I love. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And to come in and just serve because I
Yeah.
know what a relief it is to the people who are going through the most.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I,
th-
I feel I definitely hear you, bro.
yeah,
I feel the most content helping out the people, during these important 5 love too, bro. Like I feel fulfilled in helping that, bro.
yeah,
Service goes a
yeah,
long way, especially when, in a situation like mine with no siblings and my parents are already dead. It's like
hmm
like me providing a service to the people who are going through losing a loved one does so much for my heart and my soul. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And that's funny that you bring up like these family members who you put on a big pedestal, who you've done that for your entire life. But then when they do things like ASEF, what can I do with this, that, and the other? It makes you realize that, they are still the mythological figure in your life, but they're also very much human, bruh. They
yeah,
can come
yeah,
down and talk to they're not looking down at you from that pedestal that you put them on. They're coming
yeah,
down, meeting you halfway to let
hmm
you know that like, yeah, we're here for you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Don't be scared to hit us up. Don't be scared to talk to us, bro. I know you love me. I know you love me
yeah,
so much. Sefa, you put me up there. I love you too. I can help you. Call me.
yeah,
You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So that's always great to see too, with like these figures that have been around your entire life that you put on a pedestal comes down and being like, hey, what do you need?
hmm
It lets you know that they're mythological for a reason, bro. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
That just
it's
adds to the
great to see.
lore.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
adds to the lore. Exactly. So it's like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. You
It
know?
was it was crazy how everybody banded together. Um
Yeah.
bro, it was a trip. Um
Yeah.
so there was so many different kind of visits. I think one of the more important ones. I mean, they were all important, but one that stuck out to me the most was my
Mhm.
dad's hood came through.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
Big C Street and all that. You know,
I seen that. Yeah.
they came, bro, and like I said, I wasn't crying on none of them. Like, it was very therapeutic to talk to people about my dad. It was therapeutic to hear people talk about my dad.
Mhm.
And so I had a, it was a good time to hear all the stories. But as soon as they was coming in, like, it's different. My dad lived in Sacramento like for my whole life, but his food was from San Ho through and through.
Yeah.
So C Street came in, they came in like 15, 20 deep, something like that. It was a good amount of them, but they walked in with that follow. You seen that follow that they made with the
Yeah,
airbrush
yeah,
on
yeah.
it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Bro, that was the first and only time during the talks that I was about to cry
Mm-hmm.
because it was such a grand gesture. It looked so nice and also it was like unexpected. Um but even hearing them talk, that was the first time I was gonna cry because um my auntie Easy, she was saying like, I learned loyalty from your dad. Their cousin is Sefa, the one that passed away a long time ago, and they were so young when he passed. They didn't really know much about him. He was he passed when they were very young, and they said everything I know about my brother is through your dad. Stories that he would tell, the dances he would do, everything was from your dad. Like other homies, they wasn't talking about him as much because it hurt too much. But my dad, he was proud to be his friend. He named me after him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know this, but there's hella Cephas in San Jose, all named after
Yeah.
him because like
It's true.
Cepha was one of the originators of C Street. And also he was, everybody tell you he was the best dancer. My pops and them used to pop lock. So he was the best one. Everybody else was a supporting cast when it came to Seth. But just hearing them talk, like, I learned loyalty through your dad because whenever, so many years later, he still talked about him like it just happened. He always reminded us of how important Sefa was to establishing the foundation to everything that they stand on, and just always talking about who he was. Little C Street lore, real quick. On the at the house on the block, there's a letter that Sefa wrote because he passed in Samoa. There's a letter that he wrote to his parents, and in the letter, the only person that he named was my dad. He said, "Please watch out for Jimmy." And like,
Oh
that letter
shit.
is framed. Is framed in the house. And my dad was his best friend. He was my dad's best friend. So ever since then, it's just my dad has always done the best to memorialize him, to commemorate him, and to tell people about him. And one of the ways was to name his son. So that's why in the very beginning of when I used to make music, my cousins from SAC, my cousin and my uncle, they made a clip and it said Big Sefa or something like that. And my dad cut that quick, bro.
That's crazy. I remember you telling me about this a long time
Yeah,
ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
remember that.
He was like, "Hey, Doc, you not Big Sefa, so don't even start that." He
Mm.
is like, "Hey, you Sefa, you little Sefa. We already got a baby Sefa. Like baby Sefa, he's from San Ho, but like he was like, you not Big Sefa. Don't do that, please, please don't do that." He didn't say please, but I'm gonna say he said please. And so we cut that. We cut that hella quick. I was like, no, I'm not Big Seth or whatever. Um, but yeah, like her speech about him and her speech about how I never really realized that. I never understood like
What?
it was I never realized like him mentioning Sefa so much was a form of loyalty. Because to me,
Mm.
that's all I knew. He always talked about Sefa. Everything like every chance he got, he spoke about him. And to me, it was like the norm. It's like checking the weather. It's like the sun shining. It's like the Kings losing basketball games. Like it was normal. Like it,
Yeah.
bro, it was so something I took as normal. Other people are looking at it like he's doing us a favor or it's a godsend, like keeping his memory alive. And I
Mm.
and I was just like, that's crazy because I literally never looked at it like that. And I heard
Mm.
about Cepha my whole life.
Mm.
Yeah, so it that was one of those things where like it was in front of my face the whole time, my whole life, and I never put it together until she brought it up. And it was so nice to hear all these things about my pops because that's really what it you know that's really what it was. It was like a bunch of realizations of everything that me and my family we kind of seen every day, so we didn't really take it as much, and then we look back and we're like, damn, actually, like I told, this is one of the lines I always told people, like every time I received them, it kind of became a broken record. I was like, I don't even know why anybody like my dad. That fool was hella mean.
Mm.
That fool was hella mean. He'll sit there and clown on you. I got cousins who tell their wives to not go where he's at because that's just who he is. Hey, my uncle Heck here, my cousin Heck here, just go in the house, just go on the side, just go in the back. I literally have cousins who told me, "Oh, my wife only met your dad a couple times. We've been married for 15 years, and he only met her a couple times because every time he's there, I'll be like, go, bro, Alex, stop using our bathroom." Because if my dad was here, she would just go down the street to my uncle's house and then come back. Cause she just was like, "Your dad's in the front. No, it's okay. I'm gonna go down the street." That's just and you know, like for me, I was like, man, he's so damn mean. Why does anybody like him? But like going through this situation,
Mm.
um, I realized like that kind of joking and that kind of stuff, it in a crisis or in times where things is hella dark, like
Mm.
things would be hella bad. Like we'd have, loss in the family, or we'd have this or that, a tragedy, whatever, and like everybody would be quiet and sad. And all of a sudden in the back of the room, you hear this super inappropriate comment. You like, who that? And you look back and it's my dad. And like everyone
Yeah.
would laugh. They would laugh
Yeah.
amongst tears. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was telling, during my testimony, I said, man, that was his superpower, to pull people out, to snap them back into reality, to let them know, like, no, it's okay. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
And while you at it, damn, you getting fat. You should just calm down on the Twinkies and the ho hos, like,
Bro.
like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
it was something at the time where I just didn't get it, but now I'm like, I could really use some of his inappropriate comments right now to just
Le-
cut the tension.
Brother,
Yeah,
levity goes such a long way in terms
hmm,
of dealing with darkness and sadness in your life.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's why, I filter a lot of stuff, a lot of sadness, that going on in my life through humor. It's easier
yeah,
that way. And it's helped a lot of people around me. You know what I'm saying? And when I hear that from other people, it's just like it's a great recognition of like you've been through something. I think I'm
yeah,
gonna be cool with you. When I hear
yeah,
something inappropriate from somebody, I just look at them like that was fucking hilarious. Who is this person? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it goes a long way, and it's definitely a superpower to be able to snap people out of that funk. And we're still gonna be in that regardless. You know what I'm saying? But to get out of that in that for that split second and share a
mm,
laugh while we're all over here freaking crying.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It does a lot, bro. So
Yeah.
I would
It's
fuck.
yeah. It but yeah, the whole leading up, talking to everybody and seeing everybody was cool. The hall setup, man. Shout out to the family again. Both sides came together, my mom and my dad's side. Bro, my grandma came. My
Nice.
grandma, my grandma from
Wait, from
Samoa came.
Samoa?
From
Oh
Samoa.
shoot.
Brother,
Whoa.
shout out to Grandma Eleanor. She it was a surprise. She didn't tell my mom. She told my auntie, who told me. She flew from Samoa. She got to Hawaii like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Then she got picked up. They went and ran some errands or whatever. Got back to the airport. Was on a flight at 11. Flew to Kona. Flew to a small island, whatever. Was there for a few hours and then flew from there to Sacramento. So she did a 5 hour flight. She did a 4 hour layover. She had a flight, 2.5 hour layover, and then a 5 hour flight. At
God.
70 something years old, all of that within, back to back to back.
Yeah.
So she came in. When I heard the news, I almost cried at the airport picking up my auntie when she told me. And when seeing her there was just like, she was like, "You thought I was gonna miss my bestie's funeral? Are you crazy?"
Oh.
My auntie was telling me, she was like, "Mom, it's okay. You don't have to come." And she was like, "If you don't book my ticket, I'm gonna book it myself. Now hurry the hell up." And she was, and she made it. She's home now. But she came out here for it. And for her to make this grand gesture, bro, it was great. Like, my whole mom's side of the family, I talked to them as well. When they came, and I heard them out and I listened to them and I talked to them. And I thanked them because we grew up on my dad's side primarily. Sacramento, we was based in Sacramento. My dad's family's based in Sacramento. My mom's side too, but they kind of was everywhere, you know. Well, my mom's immediate was kind of based here, but everybody else was everywhere else.
Mm.
And so, for them to always come through for my mom, bro, like it just means so much. It mean like I'm noticing it more. Like my mom's side, bro, they everywhere. Washington, Hawaii, Texas, or all these different places, Southern Cal, like Samoa, but they always show up every single time for my mom. And so this really showed me that like we need to participate more, or we need to enable people in our family to participate more. So like,
Oh
um,
man.
I told my girl, I said, man, we about to start this fund, this emergency trust fund. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm putting money away for a rainy day, and whenever something happens, either I'm going or somebody from our immediate family's going, because we need to show up, because they showed up
Mm-hmm.
straight from the airplane, straight to the hall, straight to decorating, straight to whatever. Hey, what do you guys need? Like, it's just, I know everybody loved my dad, but I love the fact that my mom's family showed up for her, because it's primarily my dad's family who we with. But they always show up for my mom. And I thank them too. I'm like, thank you guys so much, because my mom's, in Sacramento, there's not a lot of her family there. But you guys always come. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so thankful for that, because she can provide through her family in a way that we don't really have the means, because they're not here all the time. So yeah, it was dope. They set up the hall looked incredible. The service, boy. Dog, the service was, it was great, dog. Like the setup, decorations, everybody who had a hand, and like they was telling me like, bro, it looks so good. You did such a great job. And I was very adamant in letting people know I didn't do a thing. We did this. Like, and I went up there and I said, this right here, from the people who swept the hall, to the people who picked up the food, to the people who decorated the pillars with the leaves, to the people who went and did the running around and filling the propane tanks, to the people who set up the tent, to the people who helped plate the food. Like, this was, first of all, this was God's work, but this is also done by the hands of many, not just us, not just me. I didn't do a thing in that hall. I might have
Mm-hmm.
zip tied up a few things, but I didn't do a thing. The family, and also my sister's friends, like her friend group, bro, solid as they come. They did so
Mm-hmm.
much for the funeral. For they were really close to my parents, really close. They love that's her siblings, and they call my parents mom and dad. So bro, they came through with the flowers, the casket,
Man.
I don't know about the spray. Well, it was a bunch, all of
Mm-hmm.
the hella wreaths, hella decorations around. Like, it was just so much love from so many different places. The service was incredible. It was a cripped out service, bro. You know what's crazy? My mom was the one
Oh.
pushing for it. My mom
Oh
was the
yeah.
one that's like, oh yeah, we got to get the hat, put C Street on the side. We got to, we even had a talk. Like, I said, Mom, I don't like when we go to funerals and hella people be putting stuff in the casket. I don't want no bottles in there. I don't want no t-shirts in there. I don't want none of that. I said, but we gotta let the flags fly. She was like, what you mean? I said, they finna come. They finna put their flags up. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only thing that I want to be in there, because that's the only thing possible want. Well, he would probably want the t-shirts and bottles too, but I was like, no, I don't want none of that. So she was
Right.
like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I was just, so that was it. So I made an announcement, hey, only rags in the casket. Everything else is getting thrown out. So, um, it was just, it was, man, it was nice. Um, Shout out to
Yeah.
Paulu from my uncle Levi's son. He's like a Matai. Like, I don't know if that's disrespectful, but he's young, but he spit that Samoan hella good. He been since he was a kid, and
Mm-hmm.
that fool, he went up and he did this whole laonga whatever, and he said all these things, and then he called my mom up to dance.
Oh what?
And I looked at her. She looked at me. I looked at her. I was like, "You better get up there. You better dance for your husband." And she did it. She did her little Sefa. And she was up there smiling, and we
Oh
got pictures of it.
yeah.
And that was the
Did
first
you
time
did you dance behind her?
I was behind. I was at I sat at the casket, so I was behind her
All
when
right.
she did it. Um, but that was the first time. Well, she stood up to say my dad or whatever. But that was the first
Okay.
time that she was like up and attentive during the service. auntie. And so I'm glad that they did that because she was like involved. She was involved through everything, but she was like a part of it. Another thing that I really liked is everybody gave her flowers. My mom, because my dad been sick for a long time, and she's been taking him to his appointments, dialysis, everything, all the while paying all the bills. And like I went up there too, and I was like, hey, check this out. If my mom wasn't here, he'd have died a long time ago. And yeah, nah, but it's real. And I said that. I let people know that. And I'm glad she got her flowers because she did so much in their relationship since I was a kid. And so I'm glad that everybody like it wasn't something that people didn't know about. Like a lot of people that was close to my pops and even people that were far, like distant, like love my pops from distance, they all knew how much my mom did to keep him going. So
Mhm.
I love that.
it's
I,
it's nice to be freaking recognized for it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
It's nice to be talked about in that way. Yeah,
straight
y'all
up.
know, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
and she, she wasn't gonna talk. She didn't talk, but I was gonna make sure people knew. Like, nah, she did that. So for her to go Siva up there, for her to get recognized up there from so many different testimonies, yeah, nah, it was dope. Testimonies were great. Um, yeah, and then the send off was, we get out the car, we followed the hearse from the hall to the cemetery. And when we get there, my mom's like, Seth. I was like, what's up? We standing to be the pallbearers, right? She's like, go talk to your Uncle Levi and talk to C Street. And you tell them that I want them to walk that out. Cause my uncle was saying like we can carry the casket. Cause a lot of people they roll, they roll it. My uncle was like, hey, we got hella hands over here. I want to, we want to carry him. And so the compromise was because it was like, me, my brothers, baby Chico, and we were the ones carrying him. But my mom said, hey, you talk to Levi, you tell them we want C Street in front of us. And we want C Street to walk us out. So they'll lead the way. We follow them with Pops. So I went and I talked to Uncle. I talked to a couple of my aunties too. And they was like, what? I said, that's my mom. She made that call. That's what she wanted. And she was like, it's not what I want. It's what your dad wants. So then we rallied the troops. If y'all see the video, everybody walking and everybody got their phones and this and that, and we playing Someday by Cali Cousins just on the speaker, Cam holding the speaker, talking, yelling, SIP Big Hec and all that. And like all of the homies is in front, leading the way. And then, me and my brothers and my family, we carrying them. And so that was my mom. That was her call. And I even asked her today or yesterday, I was like, what made you do that? She was like, I don't know. Just as soon as we stood there and we seen everybody, because everybody lines up on the side. She said we seen everybody, and I'm just like, no, they need to be involved because my dad was very, he's very much from his hood. He was very much from there, affiliated, all that. So yeah, yeah, we had them walk us out, and it was so,
It's only right.
bro, that mug was so empowering just seeing everybody and even like all the families on the side because like we from Sac. So and my auntie she like, hey, C Street cool, but this the plazas, guys, like still though. And it was, man, bro, it was so dope to see all the love and to walk him out and to play his favorite song. We was following the casket and I had the speaker out the window. This big old speaker I was just holding in my arm. We had it out the window. I was playing Someday over and over and over. And I was just like, this is, we right behind the hearse and we just, we and the way that the hearse went, we went right by our house because we live right
Oh
down the street from
God.
the semi. I talked to the lady. I said, hey, so the way that we came this morning, can we take that same exact route? She was like, yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's fine. I'm driving, so I'll be able to. So we go here, Dry Creek. I said yes. I said that's our house on Dry Creek, and we want to take my pops to the house like one last time to see the house before he goes. So as soon as we
Fuck.
passed, bro, I start crying, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
I was in the car, I was crying or whatever when we passed the house. But it was such a bro, like it was such a perfect send off, bro. It was We went, we brought him, we walked him out. Everybody was there. So many people. I was like, yo, this dad would have loved this. Cause that man was extra as hell. That's what we was telling people. Yeah, we had to go extra on this because he was extra as hell. He didn't do nothing simple. He was loud. He was extravagant. He was boisterous. And so we had to make the service just as loud, just as extravagant, just as boisterous. So, um, yeah, it was dope. It was dope, man. Uh, Service was nice. The burial was dope. We put him in the wall, but it was
Oh yeah, I seen
that's
that.
yeah. He wanted to be just like my grandma, so he's next near my grandma, not next to, but near. We was like, all right,
Mm.
grandma, we gonna give you some space, some distance from him, so he don't bother you too much. What I'm saying?
Right.
He close enough, but far enough. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was such a bro. It was such a like my mom was like, he's not. She was like, I feel like if we didn't do it right, he'd be over here knocking over chairs or pushing down the cups. She's like, I don't think he's gonna bother us. Like, I think he's fine with his send off. I think everything went well. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was cripped out, but it was holy. You
Yeah.
know, because that's exactly who he was. He would always say, "I'm not a gang. And I'm no longer a gang banger, but I am a gang member." And that was it was so, man, from the testimonies to the longas to everything. It was just, man, you know, damn, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
During the Uso Baby Tones funeral, rest in peace, man. I was walking by my uncle Ed, and he was talking to Big Mace, and
Hmm.
they were chopping it up about stuff, and then I go and I shook hands with Mace and met him, and my uncle Ed asked like, "Hey, you going up north? You going up north?" I was like, "Oh, for what? What happened?" And it completely slipped my mind that my uncle Ed and your pops were cool like that. When you was down here for Orange
Yeah,
County for
yeah,
the stuff, yeah, that's who your pops went to go visit and shit.
yeah, yeah.
According to Uncle Ed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he was like, Marcus, you going up north? I was like, oh, for what? Like, oh, for you go chill with Sefa for Jimmy's funeral. It's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Ed
I
and
just wanted to
Jan
know
is
if you see.
hella close.
Yeah.
I don't, I didn't,
Cool.
I didn't see them. I don't know. Did they come? Were they?
I'm assuming they did. I think they did.
Oh, it was,
Yeah.
bro. It was so many people there, bro.
No, I
We
know.
had,
I'm assuming, bro.
yeah,
Shit.
we had 300 chairs set up. The service was supposed to start at 10, and by 9 o'clock, all of the chairs was taken.
Ooh.
The service starts at 10, like the viewing and everything. The doors opened at 8, so we had family members go in early to
Mm-hmm.
finish decorating, like last final touches. We met at the
Yeah.
cemetery at 8 to drive with, the hearse. And we get there like
Mm-hmm.
8:30, and it's already cracking. By 9,
Yeah.
9:15, most of the seats is taken.
Mm.
It was so
Yep.
many people there. It was so
Yep.
many people there. So I don't. I'm sure there was a lot of people who I didn't see or I didn't. But I like even then I was running around trying to help with the Facebook live. I was running
Mm-hmm.
around like coordinating with the AV guy about the mics and going to the pastor to tell him about the pastors that were present or all of these different things. So like they might have been, and I just didn't see them. But
Yeah. Nah. No. It was just it just tripped me out. You know what I'm saying? The connection. You know,
yeah,
like just the connection of not like just your dad and the Uncle Ed, but like there's us. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the connection just lasts through different generations and stuff, and it's always cool to see. It's just again, terrible circumstances, but still, it's just a great
yeah,
reminder that, like, bro, we connected. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No, for real.
Up and down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, fudge. My
Big Mace
family's
was there.
huge. My parents are dead,
Yeah.
but my family is huge. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's what it is.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Big Mace pulled up though. He was here.
oh, that's right.
Um, he came for the CE2 like the week before
Oh,
and for
yeah.
the service. Like, him and my pops was hella good. My pops always say, like, yeah, I know Misaki doing his thing in Long Beach, but he from St. Hulk. Like he one of us. He one of us. Like Mace was laughing when I told him because when everybody when they came and I was talking to everybody, I told him that he started laughing. He's like, man, your pops is crazy, cuz your pops is crazy. But like, he had so much love, so many. It was such a great turnout, seeing everybody, seeing all the family and friends, seeing people I ain't seen in forever. Even talking to everybody, it's just like, yeah, like I felt like such a kid because I had all
Hmm.
these people who I remember from my childhood pulling
Right.
up, and I haven't seen them since church, or I haven't seen them since I was a kid, and I felt like, man, I felt so loved and so like protected, and not in a way where it's like everybody is thugs and everybody, but like protected like by love. Like I'm
Hmm.
good here. Like I'm surrounded by people who accept me, who know me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was different. It was a different kind of serenity and peace. Um, but yeah, man, it
That's
was yeah.
no, that's crazy that you make the kid comparison because I feel like I I I, I feel it, but in a different sense, right?
Mhm.
Like during Baby Tone's funeral, all the boys was over there helping out, but we felt like kids again, you know?
Yeah,
We felt like
yeah,
kids together again, listening to these old folks telling us where to put the waters at, where to put the
yeah,
sodas at. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Take your shoes off, put the EL, take your shoes off and run this corned beef. Like it took me back to childhood in that way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
like recent past. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
yeah,
nah. It just doesn't matter what service you're doing, man. You're gonna feel like a
yeah,
child, whether because you're surrounded by the older folks that you grew up watching, or you flanked by your brothers over here, sending
yeah,
off your family. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's like, damn,
yeah.
grief is a
Yeah.
lot.
It
You know what I'm
is.
saying? But we focus on so much of the bad that like the good stuff we don't realize until later. And it's like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, nah, this is definitely a sign to strengthen our togetherness. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that was like the biggest thing I learned for our stuff going on here. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The two weddings and the funeral. It was like, for me personally, I'd been away from everything for so long. Like, I literally just keep my head down in the cave, bro. So when I was finally
Yeah.
coming out and like, help out with stuff, like it was just a reminder, like, bro, get your fucking ass up and help your family. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
straight up.
Like,
Like,
go and help your family, dude. You need to do more of this because you get a great feeling from helping people, and
yeah.
you're seeing your family again who you haven't seen in a while. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's catching up, like there's nothing, like distance hasn't been between us all this time. You know what I'm saying? So get your motherfucking ass up and go help. You know,
Yeah.
now I just don't need a reminder from people to do that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, do
It wa-
more of
it's
this.
it's crazy too because as much as I felt like a child around them, around my little
Mhm.
cousins who was pulling up, I felt like such an like I was like, it's us now. It's
Yeah.
us now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it's
right?
us
Like
now.
a
Like it's
literal
yeah.
passing of the torch, bro.
Yeah, like
You know?
the talking and stuff, or like they
Hmm.
was like, "Hey, Seth, what do you like?" My little cousins is hella big now. All of them, I used to beat all of them up on my mom's side. I used to beat all of them up,
Yeah.
and now they all 6 feet and up, and they're just like, "Yo, man, you was a child abuser." I was like, "Well, you turned out good, right? So I did something right." But like, it's crazy. Like my cousin Tama was there.
Oh shoot.
Bro, I didn't know Tama
Oh
was coming.
sh.
He walks in, and I sit there, and I almost cry seeing this tall, buff white boy in a small shirt.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, like he's stationed somewhere. He's in the military now. He's stationed somewhere out here, but nobody knew he was coming. So he pulls up, and I just give him a big old hug. I'm like, "Thank you for coming." He's like, "Of course, of course." And then they come to the house. I'm like, "Tama, get in the back, clean that yard. Oh, your girlfriend
There it
Michaela, get
is.
in the kitchen. Get in the kitchen. My mom needs help." And they were just like with it, And even the other look, hey, you guys over here, you guys move this tent. Hey, you guys over here, whatever. And I was just like, yeah, we're here now. It's us now. It's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
to
man.
anybody who's ever lost a parent and keep going and keeps going. Cause yeah, bro. This is something different. Like I've
Hmm.
never felt this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking of all my family members who've lost a parent or lost, my dad and his siblings, they lost a parent and a brother within months in 1992. And I'm just like, I don't know how the hell they dealt with that. But
Yeah.
they did. And I look to them as another instance or another example of like it is possible. You just got to keep going. And so
Yeah.
that's really been the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I'm looking at you, I'm looking at my aunties and them. I'm looking at all my family members, my cousin, Mafu and Boo Boo who are like, younger, like my age, who lost their mom. And I'm looking at like, just and they're still thriving. Mafu about to get married. Boo Boo doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it is possible. It
Yeah.
is. It is
Yeah.
there, you know. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's giving me a whole new perspective on things, but like, yeah, we one day at a time. My fault for taking up
Yeah.
all this time, but you know, I just needed to place the vents, and that's what the
Yeah.
Polytickin Podcast is.
Yeah, man. I'll keep a pulling, man. You already know, bro. Like, this is exactly that. One day at a
Mhm.
time. Surround yourself with love. All of that. All the stuff you already know. All the cliche shit that you already know about is cliche for a
Yeah,
reason because it's true. Okay?
yeah, yeah,
You'll be fine. You'll be
yeah.
okay.
You know,
All right.
hey, and for everybody here, Patreon, we're gonna take care of y'all, man. I got this little setup now, and it's off my phone, so we gonna make up for it. I promise.
Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, shit,
Any,
man. You got anything else? What's up? What's the deal?
I I think I'm good. I think I'm out of minutes. I'm out of nighttime. I gotta wait till 9 p.m. to talk again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If y'all made it this far, we appreciate y'all, man. I know things have been a little wonky since all this family stuff has been going on, but again, man, the Patreon, we appreciate y'all for still sticking it out with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We've been taking these extended breaks to for family stuff, and also one of the three of us lost their voices. I don't know who, but we appreciate y'all for still rocking with us, man.
yeah,
Yeah, this is we're here. We're still here. Shit, what the
yeah,
fuck is you talking
yeah.
about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We back. You know what I mean? If there is nothing else,
Take us
what's the
out,
deal? We
brother.
good?
Take us
This has
out,
been
man.
another episode of the Polytickin Podcast, you friggin' nerds. 121, we think.
21, 21.
121. We appreciate y'all, man. Go far. Bye.
Hold on, let me. I don't know how to do this off the phone.
Oh, this is
How do I
gold.
breathe? Hold on.
How do,
Sorry, y'all. We on the phone
how
right now.
do
So
I breathe
okay,
without
stop.
you?
You will receive an
Yeah.
email. Okay, okay, stop.